outstanding graduates. Please remain standing. Join us as the class of 2019 leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. At this time, join me in welcoming our Board of Education President, Mrs. Mary Myers.
All of the families, our graduates, our alumni, honored guests, teachers, staff, administration, and members of the board who have been able to join us here today. As we continue each year with our graduation ceremonies for the Randolph Academy, at the Randolph campus, our first graduation was in 1995, and our Hamburg campus was 2012. We are glad that you could join us today as we celebrate this milestone for our graduates today. We are proud of these young people that are setting before us today. They have worked hard to reach this point in their lives. There have been obstacles and all along the way. There always are for all of us. Then there are the special people that come along to help us. Many of you young people have people that have stepped up over all the years. And there have been others that have stepped up often later in their careers. For many, this would have been, there are some that have been there with your journey through the years, and others who have stepped up to help you when you needed a helping hand. Whoever it was, be grateful that you passed first. Now you are going on to the next phase of your life. It could be college, your first job, military, or a special school. Whatever the road takes you, remember all of the good that you have gained as you have been here with us, and we hope that you have accomplished. Look for ways that you can share what you have learned with others as your life's journey continues.
Thank you, Mrs. Myers.
Good afternoon. I'm Brad Sandy. I'm on the Board of Education for Randolph Academy. This is a letter addressed to Mr. Kwitneski, and I will read it and present it to Mr. Kwitneski. Dear Mr. Kwitneski, Randolph Academy Board of Education has deep appreciation for your role in growing a school culture that supports our school's mission. On the occasion of your retirement, it is appropriate that Randolph Academy community formally recognize your contributions to our students and our school. The board has great confidence that you leave behind a culture that is strong and resilient and will continue to assist students in reaching their academic and personal goals. We are aware of the great affection the students and staff have expressed to you. Your kind demeanor, your use of humor, and steady protective leadership have permeated the school and made it the inviting and supportive environment our students need to succeed. While news of your retirement stirs sadness, our school community feels deep gratitude for your leadership and all that you have given. In recognition of your lasting influence and your dogged insistence that construction of the new basketball courts be completed, a permanent plaque will identify our new basketball courts as follows. Mr. K's Courts. In gratitude for service and tireless commitment to the students at Randolph Academy Hamburg campus, these basketball courts are dedicated to John A. Kudneski, Jr., Principal, 2016 to 2019. The Board of Education joins the entire Randolph community in wishing you a long, productive, and happy retirement. Congratulations on a career that provided many students with hope, self-confidence, and success.
Well, there are many of you who've been here a lot longer than me and deserve this more than I do, and it's certainly more about the kids than it is about me. So with that, I will turn you over to Miss Jennifer Jones, the class of 2019's president, and she will give the class address.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm extremely excited that today has finally come. My name is Jennifer Jones, and before I came to Randolph, I was struggling a lot. Middle school was very difficult for me. I felt out of place at my old school, and my education was being affected because of it. Then I was recommended this school and immediately felt like I belonged. As my teachers, support staff, and friends can agree with, I grew into a very self-aware person and learned how to cope with my anxiety. Without the tremendous amount of support I have received, I definitely would not be here giving the graduation speech. I learned how to not let my feelings get the best of me. I learned how to deal with difficult times. I learned how to build strong relationships and learned how to manage school, work, and social life. Everyone here has prepared me in ways I believe no one else could for college and for all my future endeavors. As I'm sure most, if not all of my classmates can agree with, we got very lucky to have found this school. What I thought was the worst time of my life turned into something amazing. I not only met some of the best teachers and staff, but I met some lifelong amazing friends, and I'm proud to be here. That being said, I would like to thank everyone here for giving the best 4 years I could have asked for. To my teachers, it's hard to put into words how I feel about all of you, but what I can say is wow. I have never received a better education while simultaneously getting amazing emotional support. You have not only met my needs, but you went above and beyond. Every single one of you has changed my life in so many different ways. Thank you. To Mr. K, thank you for always being there. I want you to know that you are extremely appreciated here at Randolph. Even though most kids don't show it, we were very lucky to have you as a principal. Thank you for never failing to put a smile on my face. To Mr. Pugh, thank you for always being my go-to. You have never failed to get me through the hardest times. I'm positive that without you, I wouldn't be where I am today. You have been an amazing support to my family and I, and we are very blessed and thankful to have met you. I would also like to thank all the staff that helped me in preparing for college. Whether it be the paperwork and educational aspects or the emotional support and motivation, I've never been disappointed. I needed the help, and I definitely got it. I appreciate everything. To Crystal, my rock, my go-to, my best friend. You're an amazing girl. For 4 years straight, you've been by my side. I cherish our friendship more than any other. Thank you for making me laugh and listening to me cry. You deserve nothing but the best, and I know you will achieve everything you dream on this same next day. And last but not least, my parents. You guys have been by my side through every single step of the way. Thank you for being my best friends. I would never have gotten here if it wasn't for you two, and I'm extremely blessed to call you guys my parents. I love you both more than words can express. Starting this next chapter would have been hard and scary to prepare for on my own, but I have met some amazing people who helped me every step of the way. I feel excited to continue to grow. This isn't a goodbye, but see you later. Thank you for the friendships, for the support, for the love. I'm going to miss my home away from home. Thank you.
Jennifer, your words were a gift to us. Thank you. I'm Maureen DiCarlo. I'm superintendent at Randolph Academy, and it is my honor to introduce today's commencement speaker, Mr. Daryl Varlack Butler. Graduates, I invite you to listen closely. Mr. Varlack Butler is someone who understands what it means to face challenges in life and to overcome them. In many ways, his story is your story. We met Mr. Varlack Butler last summer when a team from Randolph Academy went to New York City for restorative justice training. Over the week we shared together, a respect for him grew deep. He's co-founder of Worth Shop, Inc. He is also a wellness specialist on a New York City ACT team, which is often called the Hospital Without Walls. The team provides outpatient treatment for people with severe cases of mental illness. He holds 2 graduate degrees, one from Fordham University in social work, and the other from New York Theological Seminary in professional studies, with a focus on urban ministry, ethics, and pastoral counseling. He holds a bachelor's degree from Nyack College in organizational management. While at Fordham, he traveled to Haiti with an international social work development class to study the resiliency of a culture that has been devastated by disasters, global discrimination, and social mapping. Mr. Varlack Butler has volunteered with the Beck Institute and mentors boys in the Bronx area of the New York City school system. He's a skilled clinician who uses evidence-based strategies to counsel, educate, empower, and help people overcome situations, circumstances, and injuries to build lives of quality, happiness, and meaning. He is known for challenging all to be their beautiful self. The past does not define nor imprison when people forgive and choose to live. In his personal life, Mr. Varlack Butler is a son, father, and grandfather. Please join me in giving a warm Randolph Academy welcome.
Mr. Carroll, thank you for that warm welcome, and everyone else. Those credentials are mine. They only tell the story today and the things I've been able to manage to accomplish. It doesn't tell the story of my humble beginnings. And neither is as important as your accomplishment. This is your day. I would like to ask each one of you to stand up. I would like you to take hands. We're not in church, we're not like that, right? But each one of you will be joined together from this moment on for the rest of your life. You may not realize it now, how important it is to know that you did it together, right? But you did. And I want to make sure that y'all hold that as a sacred. This accomplishment today is so important. It's so important, and it shows who you are and who you're steady becoming. Now you can keep standing, or you can have a seat if you want. Because it's your day, you can have a joke. I'm here today because of a path I had to take. Let me share it was a path that came about from actions that I chose. I started out surrounded by family, and it was love. But it wasn't perfect. No family is perfect. One of the things that my family taught me to hold treasure to, no matter what, was the 4 talents. And these 4 talents I want to share with you because I want to pass them on to you that you can hold them. One talent is integrity. Another talent is intelligence. Another talent is hard work. And the final talent is compassion. It has been these 4 talents that have carried me through very, very tough times in life. And has led me to where I stand today, from having been at the right place at the right moment to meet Mr. Caro, who invited me here to come and speak with you. I was initially raised by a single mother. My grandmother was an immigrant. She brought her 7 children here to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and she died shortly after. My mother was 13 when her mother died. I'm not sure if anybody can picture what that made me like. I guess it was in the 40s, late 40s, 50s. New York City was a total different place. Imagine being a young girl. Her father had been an elderly man, as in the islands. Old men were attracted to young ladies, that's for sure. And he died as well. And so my mother worked her way off the welfare. She worked her way to become a social worker, property owner 3 times, to always model behaviors that we spoke of: integrity, intelligence, hard work, and compassion. My biological father wasn't in my life. But the way life works is that you still will get what you need as long as you're open to receive. And so she met a man who was finally, to me, my pops. My pops was the first man that I remember, every time I looked in his eyes, I saw love. It was like no matter what I did, he loved on me. I remember in times when I ran into crisis, trouble, let's be plain, right? When I was out in the street and I was up there in fights, because we know many times we have faced a lot of judgment, a lot of cruelty by our peers. People tried to pick on us, told us we wasn't worth nothing. They judged us because of the color of our skin, some dark skin, some lighter. We all have been dumped on. And the initial aspect to do when you're dumped on is to fight back. And so I fought back. To this day, my pops was my hero. And although he's not alive, he'll forever be alive in me. What I'm trying to do is paint a picture to you right now that you can understand through your lens that your life hasn't been perfect either. But you are perfect. You're perfectly doing your best to become the best you can be. In high school, I was the basketball star. So I was that dude, I was that jock, right? Everybody know in high school, basketball players got it made, right? The girls like it, right? They come to the game, and so you know, right? I was Steph Curry before there was a Steph Curry. I had a jump shot that wouldn't stop. The only thing that could stop that jump shot was me. And I think you should know I did. Unfortunately, I was making decisions way before my time. I was acting grown, but I wasn't. Our parents told us, don't get quickly in relationships, don't start having, sex, right? I didn't listen. And so, the young lady who would later become my wife, she was the cheerleader, she became pregnant. I was offered a scholarship to go away and play ball. However, one of the, right, y'all with me? One of the what? The talents spoke about integrity, right? And so, I didn't take my scholarship to go away. I made a decision to go into the Army. See, a team doesn't always realize the consequences of their behavior. And that's okay, because you're a team. Your brain is still developing, you're still young, right? But you hold on to the goodness in your heart. So like I said, I didn't heed the advice. when I was told. And I ended up going into the military. It was a plan, a good plan, I thought. However, many people know you can have the best laid plan, it always doesn't go as you would like it to. And so while I went in the service, she gave birth to my son. She turned around because I could not be the man she wanted to. She took my son and left. I ended up getting out of the service. And when I returned home, at that time, she was involved in a relationship with somebody else, although she was married to me. I did not seek the counsel that I should have, right? And if my actions harmed another, it harmed our families, it harmed our communities, and it changed the trajectory of my life. I ended up in a place for 25 years where I was told that I was nothing. I was told that I was only as good as my last jump shot at that time. However, I refused to accept that. The same way all my life I rejected anyone trying to judge me and put me down. I'm a passionate person, I'm emotional. So if I become tearful, just know it's my passion, my heart, and I feel the weight that y'all can carry. And I know what it's like. In that place, it was filled with hopelessness and despair. However, I remember the 4 talents. Right? Intelligence. Right? No. What's the first one? That's right. Integrity. Intelligence. Hard work. Compassion. I held on to integrity and worked on being my beautiful self when others were watching, and most importantly, when they were not. I used my intelligence to see myself out of the mess I found myself in by enrolling in school. In that place, I was able to get me an associate degree, bachelor's degree, and master's degree. I was able to start working on myself and getting myself together. I began to educate youth and work with them. Many people are familiar with the Scared Straight program in some cases. Are you familiar with that? Okay. This is an interactive speech, so feel free to speak, all right? So Scared Straight was a program out of Rawway, New Jersey. And at that time, they believed that you could scare people, children, youth into change. However, the reality is that you can't scare people into change. You can't. As soon as the impetus, the things that intimidate them to change is removed, the behavior returns. However, we learned that by sharing our stories with youth and others, they will ultimately be able to think for themselves and be able to change the trajectory of their course. And so that's one of the things that I did also. I committed to hard work by being present, asking questions and following the guidelines, and places to help you. No matter where you find yourself in life, there's always somebody or somewhere that you can go to get help, right? When you were in this school, on your worst day, you also knew where you can go for an ear, right? Because you knew somebody else cared. You have to hold on to that and know when you move from here that people care. They care about you. Lastly, in that place, I held compassion for myself. I had to forgive myself. That's the one thing that's so important for each and every one of us. And that's forgiveness. Forgive ourselves. Many times we're the hardest on ourselves when we mess up. People just don't know. But we know. We know we expect the best from ourselves. We always have. But we've always struggled to prove that. See, the last thing I want you to walk away with today is that if you ever make a mistake, you can come back from it. But if you pay attention to what I'm saying, then you'll have the tools to decrease the degrees of mistakes that you're bound to make. I want you to know that if you hold on to the 4 talents, you can make it through any hardships you face. overcome obstacles, and win in life. You are the answer to your problems and to the future, because you have endured and faced and encountered issues and circumstances that nobody else knows. So you are the educator in every room that you sit. I believe in your ability to succeed because you're a person of work. As long as you have breath, you have hope. And hope is something to be treasured. Why? Because it will cause you to reframe your perspective and see things more positively using the power of your thoughts. I want to tell you a story. I remember when I was a little boy, my father took me to a cave that extended underground for about a mile. My father held a great torch, and I followed him carefully while looking at the big shadows on the walls and listened to the echoes of our voices. At last, we stopped by some rocks. My father showed me a tongue-shaped rock, and about 2 feet thick projecting from a shelf in the cave. He also showed me a finger-like rock above, from which drops of water was dripping down. After I saw both of these rocks, he said, I have a question for you. You saw the drops from the ceiling. Did you see where they went? He looked at me and held the torch up so that I could see it better. I noticed the drops of water were falling on the rock and passing through it. I was curious because the rock was very thick. I crawled under the rock to see what was going on. I saw the rock was drilled through, and it was 1 inch thick. My father asked me another question. He said, do you know what happened? I said, no. And he said, think. I figured it out. I said the drops kept hitting the rock for centuries, and the water drilled through the rock. Yes. He said, I brought you here to see this fact and to learn a lesson. A concentrated thought in any direction, if continued, can do things that seem impossible. When we were just out of the cave, my father looked at me again and stepped deeper into my eyes and said, the power of thought and the secret of how to think, these are the keys to all locks. Do not forget, the weakest thing is a drop of water, but it can still drill through rock. By the mere fact that you are here today, it shows that no matter how hard the task is, that you were able to do with repeated efforts. And they paid off. There have been many times when you wanted to quit. There may have been times when you thought you were failing, but you weren't. Today stand as evidence of your ability to succeed at whatever is in your heart to do and not quit. You have inspired me. I thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, graduates. And whatever applies, I would like you to stand. Okay? Is that all right? Okay, can I hear you? Is that okay? All right. Let me make sure you're present. Have you ever felt alone before? If so, please stand. Have you ever felt overwhelmed before? Have you ever felt that someone didn't care about you? Have you ever been hurt and thought you could not go on? Have you ever been intimidated or afraid? Well, now you're all standing. Please stand if you were standing. I want you to look at each other. Right? I would ask everyone in the audience, have you ever experienced any of these before? And to please stand as well, if you have. Somebody already said it. It's part of the human experience. And you're not alone. You're not alone. And you don't have to ever think or feel like you're alone or the weight is on your shoulder. It is no accident that despite these experiences that we are making, as you look at those in the audience, you are seeing your greatest fans. Those who believe in you, supported you, and will continue to. Some of the faces that you see, you might still be carrying some grudges with, right? Some teachers was making you, they was getting on your nerve, wasn't they? Come on, man, some voices. Some teachers, you was like, oh my goodness. They don't like it. Right? There were teachers also that you couldn't wait to see, especially on your worst day. Right? I want you to take this in for a minute. Remember the faces. Remember those who loved on you, even when you didn't know they loved you. We all now know a secret together as a community. And that is that you have demonstrated you are able to succeed. And now it means you have graduated and you are ready to proceed to the next stage in life. In closing, let me make clear what the 4 talents are. Integrity. Integrity is doing what is right when nobody's looking. Being who you say you are and holding fast to the commitment of what you say you will do. Intelligence is not being the brightest, or as they say, the sharpest knife in the drawer, right? But it's about just being able to stop, think, and identify those areas where you can obtain the support, the guidance, the advice, the help, the love that you need. That's intelligence. Intelligence is recognizing when you don't have all the answers and being open to receive and seek them. Hard work is simply continuing on when your mind, your friends, and everybody else may feel or try to encourage you to quit. Hard work is getting up every morning and going to a job, continuing school. Everyone here has a different set, of course, in which you are choosing. Hard work is going to pay off for you at the next stage, the same way it has now. And compassion. Compassion bespeaks of being kind to yourself and others, and remembering your love. Do you understand that? Compassion is to be kind to yourself and others and remember you are loved. No one is perfect, but what I can say, as I look out into this room, and we all look, right, that you have been perfectly prepared. Congratulations.
I would now ask Mrs. Leska to come up to present the Amateur Author Award for Children's Literature and an Academic Achievement Award for English.
So this year, as part of a project for senior English, 5 of our graduates conceived of, composed, and illustrated their very own children's books. Today I'm going to recognize them with the Amateur Author Award. So, for Gliding to Victory, which is about Sally the snail who overcomes the odds to win a race through perseverance and determination, Jennifer Jones. For Stefan's friendship lesson about a bright young man who realizes who his true friends are, Crystal Harris. For The Sock's New Colors, in which a plain white sock reinvents himself by sewing himself new stripes, Anthony Galkowski.
For Alone, which highlights a girl's difficult first day of middle school, Michaela James. And for the ABCs of Randolph, an often humorous alphabetical journey for Randolph Academy, Bernard Anthony. I also have another special award for a young lady who this year in particular demonstrated remarkable determination and focus. The student did not get the highest average in English class. The student struggled in English class for a long time. And I think a lot of that had to do with her confidence. I don't think she thought she could do it, and she would always second guess herself. This year that all changed. From the first day of school, she buckled down, tried every single day, even despite some very challenging circumstances, and finished the year with an 84 average. Michaela James.
Next, we have Mr. Just, who will present the Outstanding Achievement Award in Culinary Arts.
The Outstanding Achievement Award in Culinary Arts for 2018-2019 is presented with distinction to Garrett Kaiser.
Mrs. Heater, please come up to present the Positive Peer Award.
First of all, I want to congratulate every one of you. You all have left different gifts with all of us who worked with you at the Academy. I'll stand up. I'll go on my tiptoes, Crystal. Can you hear me? Okay. So congratulations to each and every one of you. Second of all, Crystal, it has been an honor to watch you grow. It's an honor for me to present to you the Positive Peer Award. There were many times this year when I was in IBC and Crystal was probably late to class because she stopped in just to see what was going on. And sometimes the mere presence of Crystal made some kids knock it off. Other times she took a seat at our table and offered some very wise advice, particularly to some of our middle schoolers this year, and I greatly appreciate it. But what I want to say to you the most is, as I've been watching all of you up here, I've seen Crystal displaying a lot of emotion, and I want you to embrace that, Crystal. That's a gift. It took me a long time to embrace my tears, and I want you to embrace yours, because you're clearly filled with a lot of emotion today, and I hope you always remember this special day. And it's my honor to present you with the Positive Peer Award.
Change in the lineup. Instead of Mr. Hinman, Mr. Beard will be presenting the Perseverance Award.
This year's Perseverance Achievement Award goes to two students who really showed a lot of grit and determination while achieving their goals. First, Jennifer Jones. And also Michaela James.
Mr. Jaska will now present the Pathfinder Awards.
Hey, good afternoon. I'd first like to start with one of our Pathfinders where I use the word kindness to describe this individual. Every morning, this young man greets staff in the hallways without being prompted. He often helped out in the food service room, assisting Mr. Just, and also on his food truck. This young man also took part in several Pathfinder projects throughout the year, benefiting our local parks and community. This person would be Anthony, aka Tony G. And hold on, one piece of advice for you is now you can keep the hat on because you're graduating today, but don't forget to take off that hat sometimes when you leave us. And good luck as you continue on the Hilbert. This next person and I, we go way back. I think she already knows who she is. I'm talking 8 or 9 years. She was with our original group of elementary students. We became Randolph. I actually found a picture. I had to do some digging. I blew it up so it's a little shiny. Beads in the hair, it's hard to see but that was Crystal a long time ago, and that was the face I often saw during my classes. She would run in here trying to hide. So it's kind of unannounced, but I always enjoyed her visits. But joking aside, I'm super proud of her that she made it to this day. Crystal is a prime example of someone who's experienced a lot of adversity in her life and came out on top, showing a ton of perseverance, poise, and confidence along the way, and we all know she is confident. We all like to have fun and let loose from time to time, believe it or not, even us adults. You know, we're still kids at heart. And this person is no exception. But when it comes to getting serious, she always stepped up to the plate, showed maturity and professionalism during times like the fashion show, when she was interacting with our younger students, lending advice, or even went off campus on our trips or community events. So congratulations, Kristen. Change and hard work, which I already referenced earlier for this person, but 2 things that this year defined her. Let's start with the change part. So she became a parent for the first time, which is no easy task for anyone, okay, let alone as a high school student nearing completion of her graduation or scholastic career. This year she managed to keep her eyes on the prize while balancing her new duty as a mother with school, with, of course, help as well, which is invaluable from your parents, so I hope you're very grateful for that, which I'm sure you are. But she's here with us today because she earned it all while experiencing that life-changing moment and became a mother to her son. And the second thing, hard work. When she wants something, she gets it. That's what I haven't figured out already. This Pathfinder was motivated to graduate, stay away from the drama, focus on what she wanted to and needed to do. And as a Pathfinder advisor, we often have many conversations about that subject throughout the year. And as staff, we all saw that maturity throughout the year. And I think that's one thing high school is about as the years progress. Changing and growing as a person, maturing each year, realizing your potential, and conquering the goals that you set for yourself. So congrats, Michaela. Continue to reap the benefits of your hard work and enjoy the changes you will continue to experience not only in your life, but your sons as well. This next student really came out of her shell probably the last 2 years or so. Who would have thought this person would rock the runway each year for the annual fashion show, or become a lead singer of the band The Rising for several gigs, right? She even sang the national anthem a cappella, this is all according to Mr. Inman, in front of roughly 20,000 people at an event in Dunkirk on the 4th of July last year. And then today to do a great speech at your graduation. So that takes a lot of guts, and I bet you most of us here wouldn't even do karaoke in front of a few people or even your family, so that's a hard thing to do. This Pathfinder plans on furthering her education at SUNY Fredonia in the fall. Don't worry, Jen, I already contacted your advisors. You're going to be taking health-related physical fitness and exercise physiology on top of your probably 18 to 21 credits, so be prepared. But don't forget to also play some ultimate, because you're really good at that. So have fun in the quad. All right, come on up, Jack. Congrats. All right, last but not least, thanks for bearing with me. Nas, 50 Cent, Wu-Tang Clan, NWA, Dr. Dre. What's all these names have in common? They are all preferred artists and composers of our final Pathfinder would like to acknowledge the staff. The staff always thought this young man was a shoo-in to join the Pathfinder group upon his arrival, but after many conversations and convincing, he finally took the lead to become a pledge. If this person could have grown up in the 90s, he would have. You don't see many young adults carrying around a Sony Discman anymore, and some of you young children are like, what is that? But it's cool how he marches to the beats of his own raps. And for the most part, this Pathfinder is a soft-spoken, laid-back individual who performed well academically and earned respect from his fellow staff and peers here at the school during his time. And if you ever want to play somebody one-on-one in basketball or in a game of horse, he can be found at the local courts in Depew at Fireman's Park. So I might have to make a visit to the old stomping grounds. Congrats, Garrett.
So the teachers had already assigned awards for perseverance, but Young and Wright, which is our architect firm, also presents an award for perseverance. This award acknowledges a student that was able to persevere and graduate against all odds. The recipient of this award has worked hard to get where she is today, and it is my pleasure to present this is worthy. Representatives from Young and Wright, if you come up, please. Mr. Toria Walazek will present this award to Miss Makayla James. So a big part of our program is building character in students. But we are a school, so we are forced to try and teach them something as well. So at this time, I would welcome Mr. Vitale, Mr. Beard, Mrs. Leska, and Mr. Peterson to come up and present their awards to the students.
I am Mr. Vitale, high school science teacher. The Randolph Academy Academic Achievement Award in Science is being presented to a young man whose dedication and contribution to the science program here at Randolph Academy has been immeasurable. Among many of his accomplishments in science, this individual's efforts, enthusiasm, and participation helped to jumpstart our Trout in the Classroom program from the ground up to the wonderful experience that it is today and has provided students throughout our entire school over the last 2 years. I am honored to present this award to Ryan Metzger.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Mr. Joe Peterson, and I'm here to present the Academic Achievement Award in Social Studies. This is going to a student who I taught throughout her high school career, and this student was such a hard worker. She actually finished her 4 years of social studies in 3 years, that she completed a couple of senior courses over summers. The only downfall was that she didn't get to see me this year as a teacher, but she popped into the room plenty of times to demand her tribute, which was a piece of gum every day. I will miss this student, who I jokingly called Crystal Marks, to help teach her about communism in her 10th grade year, and it just kind of stuck. But unlike communism, Crystal now has the freedom to choose her own path to success in the future. So congratulations, Crystal.
My name is Ed Beard, and I'm here to present the Academic Excellence in Math Award. This award goes to a student who, when she took the Algebra Regents exam, she achieved the highest grade I've ever seen while working in this district, Jennifer Jones.
Now I have several recognitions from various government authorities, so they can be long-winded, but bear with me while I read their notes to the students. Our first award is a Student Achievement Award given by the State Controller's Office, Mr. Thomas DeNapoli, our State Controller. This award is presented each year to a student who has excelled academically and has also shown leadership potential by volunteering his or her time to serve the school or community. Controller DeNapoli sends his sincere congratulations and best wishes to all of the graduating class of 2019, and particularly to the 2 award recipients. These recipients were discussing with the high school team, and they are nominated by their teachers. The first one receiving this award is Jennifer Jones. And in recognition of his hard work when he showed up, Garrett Kaiser. Our next award is by the State Attorney General's Office. And Letitia James is our current Attorney General, and her letter reads as this. I am honored to join you in recognizing your students with the office's CCC Award. This program was created to encourage young generations to fulfill their potential by celebrating students who have demonstrated courage, commitment, and character. Although I have only been Attorney General for a short time, this is one of the traditions I am most proud to continue. The end of the school year is a time of excitement, celebration, and reflection. I am a strong believer that children require support and praise in order to be successful. Receiving positive recognition from educators, parents, and other admirable individuals promotes enthusiasm and a desire to work hard to achieve their goals. Through the CCC Award, I hope to not only motivate young people to do great things, but also to boost their self-confidence. As a proud fellow New Yorker, it is a privilege to have this opportunity to applaud this year's CCC winners. Their tenacity, spirit, and determination to develop their minds and strengthen their characters is inspiring. I know these qualities will enable students to stand out and succeed. Sincerely, Letitia James. And this year's award recipients are Jennifer Jones. Jennifer! And the next, and you don't have to come down for this one because you already have things at home, is the Scholarship Award for Academic Excellence, which is provided by the State Office of Education. And it is awarded to recipients that have selected. This scholarship is awarded to students who have shown academic excellence and leadership among their peers. And these were significant financial awards to these people. And I just wanted to acknowledge both Jen Jones and Gary Kaiser for qualifying for and receiving this award. One last thing, and this is for all of you, and you'll receive this later, but there's a note from Senator Chris Jacobs, who is our state senator for the 60th District. Dear students, I would like to take this opportunity to personally congratulate you on your graduation. It is my distinct honor to recognize you on this significant achievement and be part of this momentous occasion. Through your hard work and determination, you stand here today. This is an exciting milestone in your life and one which you should take with immense pride. You did not get here alone, however, so please always remember the many who played an integral role in today's accomplishments. Your parents, teachers, support staff, coaches, and so many others. Take a moment, please, and thank them. While all of these individuals have assisted you with the skills and strong foundation on which you will rely throughout your life, it is on you to seize the moments, to leave your individual mark, and to shape your society for the better. I encourage you to envision big dreams as you pursue success. I wish you the very best in all your future endeavors and look forward to seeing you positively influence our community and the great state of New York. May your success today be the start of tomorrow's achievements. Signed, Chris Jacobs, New York State Senator. This is the end of our special recognition awards. At this time, we will award diplomas. Mrs. Myers, will you please hand out the diplomas to the graduates. Graduates, please come forward when your name is called. She changed a lot since she last spoke. Mr. Greg Hahn. Bernard Ely. Sure you want another one, Bert? Graduating with Regis Distinction, Anthony Galakowski. Again, with Regis Diploma, Crystal Harris. on the authority granted me by the state of New York, I confer these graduate diplomas on you. And you notice you have tassels on your hats if you haven't yet. We'll go over it in a minute. The graduation tassel is a symbol of success. Some believe the reason why you place the tassel on the right is because you have earned the right to graduate. Moving the tassel to the left after graduation is a symbol of crossing over from high school to another stage in your life. Once graduation is over, be sure that you remain proud of your achievements and display your tassel as a reminder of how far you've come. Graduates, at this time, please turn your tassels to the left. If you just bear with me for one more minute, I'll get you out of here as soon as possible. Sit down. I've been in this game a long time, and you are. You are my last graduating class. I'm very proud of all of you. If you follow the norms, you do know that one of our norms, which is often mentioned last, is goal directed. If the goal of each and every one of you was to drive us to the edge, then in the last 6 months you've all accomplished that goal. I love you guys. Thank you very much.